What if the American passport isn't as mighty as you once believed? What if the places that once welcomed you with open arms are now shutting you out? Today, more and more countries are telling U.S. travelers, no visa, no entry, and it's no accident. This isn't about hostile territories or war zones. These are beloved tourist spots, once wide open to Americans, now putting up serious barriers. So what shifted? Is it retaliation or is it a changing world order? Stick around, you might be surprised by this list. Brazil was once a hassle-free getaway for Americans. Sun-drenched beaches, carnival, delicious food, and best of all, no visa. Just book, arrive, and relax. But as of 2025, that easy access is history. U.S. visitors now must secure a visa. The official reason? Reciprocity. Brazil noted how the U.S. treats Brazilian visitors and decided it was time to match that energy. But that's not the full story. Public sentiment shifted. Locals began complaining about disrespectful tourists, especially Americans, ignoring customs, creating noise, and treating neighborhoods like party hubs. Brazil's citizens pushed for change. Now, to visit Brazil, you must apply beforehand, providing itineraries, proof of funds, hotel bookings, and sometimes attending an interview. No more spontaneous trips. Brazil's message is unmistakable. Respect is non-negotiable. This isn't only bureaucracy, it's about fairness, dignity, and pride, and Brazil's just the beginning. Argentina used to be a dream for American travelers. Tango, steaks, glaciers, Buenos Aires nightlife. No visa needed, just a passport and a ticket. But in 2025, things shifted. Now, Americans must apply for a visa before arrival. The reason they give? Security. But beneath the surface, it's also about respect and politics. For years, Argentina felt taken for granted, with tourists treating it like a discount playground, ignoring traditions and inflating prices. The entitled American stereotype only grew louder. Meanwhile, Argentinians faced tough U.S. visa processes, long lines, high rejection rates, endless hurdles. People started questioning the imbalance. Why make it easy for them? The response? A stricter visa system requiring financial proof, travel plans, and sometimes interviews. It's not impossible, but it's deliberate. For Americans, the new rule is simple. Respect the culture or rethink your visit. Turkey, where East meets West, has always been a magnet for visitors. Americans loved how simple it was to enter, a quick e-visa or visa on arrival. But those days are over. In 2025, Turkey tightened its rules, especially for Western travelers like Americans. Now you need to apply early, face longer waits, and even show travel insurance. Why? It's partly about pride. Turkey's leadership, notably President Erdogan, pushed back against what they see as unfair U.S. visa practices. Turkish citizens endure strict U.S. visa hurdles. So, Turkey is mirroring that. Now, U.S. travelers face more red tape. And Turkey's stance is clear. Respect is a two-way street. Tourism might take a hit, but for Turkey's government, it's about standing tall, not bending over. Some might say it's bad timing. Turkey's tourism industry is still bouncing back. But to the government, this isn't just about tourism. It's about respect. It's about control. And they're sending a message loud and clear. Thailand, known as the Land of Smiles, was a haven for U.S. travelers, beaches, street food, budget adventures. Americans enjoyed 30 days visa-free, often visa running to extend stays. Not anymore. In 2025, Thailand cracked down. Now Americans must get a visa before arrival with stricter requirements like financial proof and biometric data. Why the sudden shift? Abuse. Too many tourists, especially Americans, overstayed, worked illegally, and stretched the system. And while they weren't alone, they were the most visible and loudest. Locals grew frustrated, feeling exploited, not appreciated. The government responded with tougher immigration rules. Thailand still welcomes tourists, but now demands responsibility. Those casual, endless visa runs are a thing of the past. South Africa might not be the first place you think of for visa issues, but the change here caught a lot of people off guard. This country, rich in wildlife, culture, and history, had long allowed Americans in without a visa, but now, that's changed. As of 2025, U.S. travelers must apply for a visa before visiting South Africa. And this isn't a basic form. You'll need to give travel details, background info, biometric data, and even show financial proof. It's a serious process. Why did they do it? Officially, it's about security upgrades, but that's only part of the story. South Africa has had tense relations with the U.S. over trade, climate issues, and global politics. And let's not forget, South African citizens still face a hard time getting U.S. visas. Many see this move as a way to level the playing field. There's also a cultural side. People in South Africa are tired of feeling like they're second class in the global travel game. This visa rule is their way of saying we deserve the same respect. So now, if you're planning a trip to Cape Town or going on safari, expect extra steps. South Africa is still open for visitors, just not for free passes. Indonesia, especially Bali, was once the easiest escape for Americans. Show up, stamp your passport, and enjoy. That changed in 2025. Now, thanks to the Tourism Fairness Act, Americans need a visa in advance, with background checks, proof of accommodations, financial stability, and more. What caused the crackdown? Tourist abuse, thousands overstayed, worked illegally, or behaved badly. While offenders came from everywhere, Americans were often the most conspicuous. Locals complained about rising prices, lost culture, and the erosion of community life. Indonesia listened. Today, even your social media could impact your visa approval. Indonesia still embraces tourists, but only those who respect the culture and laws. Morocco's colorful souks and desert adventures were once easily accessible to Americans, no visa needed. But that changed in 2025. The new National Sovereignty and Border Regulation Act requires Americans to apply for visas, complete with background checks, travel itineraries, financial proof, and sometimes interviews. Why the reversal? Two reasons: security concerns and frustration over U.S. reluctance to share traveler data. Also, cities like Marrakesh and Fez saw local life disrupted by mass tourism. Rising costs pushed residents out, sparking grassroots movements for change. Now, Morocco wants respectful visitors, not tourists who treat it like a cheap backdrop. If you want in, you'll have to earn it. Malaysia, a Southeast Asian gem, quietly ended visa-free travel for Americans in 2025. Now, U.S. citizens must apply for a visa, proving financial means, sharing travel history, holding return tickets, and possibly attending interviews. The reason? Long-standing frustrations. Malaysians often struggled with U.S. visa policies, lengthy processes, high denial rates, and red tape. Now, Malaysia demands equality. National pride fueled the move, and though tourism took a hit, the government stayed firm. Planning a trip to Kuala Lumpur or Langkawi, start the visa process early and pack a little humility. Kenya, famed for its safaris and stunning landscapes, once welcomed Americans easily. A quick e-visa or even visa-free entry was standard, no longer. In 2025, Kenya required U.S. citizens to apply for formal visas. Full documentation, travel plans, background checks, and strict enforcement. Why? Frustration over U.S. visa treatment. Long waits, high rejection rates, and unequal processes fueled resentment. This wasn't an isolated move. It was part of a broader African Union strategy. Demand reciprocal respect. Kenya still values tourists, but demands fair play. If you're dreaming of the Big Five, better plan ahead. No shortcuts. The UAE, home to Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and luxury galore, used to let Americans enter with ease. But in 2025, that changed. Now U.S. travelers must secure a pre-approved visa. The process involves thorough paperwork, long waits, and sometimes interviews. What triggered this? Reciprocity and a shifting global power dynamic. The UAE is signaling it's no longer dependent on Western approval. It's defining its own terms. Tourists are still welcome, but no longer on VIP terms. If you're heading to see the Burj Khalifa, better start planning early. What's the common thread in all these changes? Respect. These nations aren't slamming the door shut, they're demanding fairness. The days of American passports being a free pass are fading. It's not the end of global travel, but it is a shift in mindset. Travel smarter, travel humbler. If this made you think differently, hit that like button, share it around, and subscribe. This is just the beginning.